Wadud,
Yeah.
you seem a bit disappointed.
No,
I'm sensing a bit of this. I don't
I want
feel
Lamine to win.
your usual aura.
Oh no, I wanted Lamine to win, but Dembele winning is not. You see, my only problem the time I was having arguments, people were saying Lamine cannot, like, he doesn't stand a chance. That was my argument. But he stands a chance, and you can see clearly. But I mean, Dembele, Rafinha was my favorite all along. Before I said at the end of the season,
But do you see,
very difficult.
the question I wanted to ask you is that even in that Barcelona team, was Lamine Yamal the best player over a period of 12 months?
You see,
I mean,
no, if you are using if it's in the period of 12 months, the most consistent Barca player was Pedri, because from maybe towards the end of the season,
better numbers than Rafinha.
Not numbers. I mean, most consistent. Beginning of the season, he started well and ended well, but Rafinha started well, dropped, and ended a bit well.
Pedri said yesterday that he doesn't really care about individual awards.
Yeah, anybody anyhow. But I'm sure anytime, any year, maybe he's preparing for it. He will willingly or gladly come for it. But I mean, I'm just saying, with Rafinha, what I'm sure worried him was towards the end of the season he went off, because when he was blazing around October, November, December, January, if he had continued that form and maybe helped Barca win the Champions League, it would have been a different story. But I mean, this is a motivational for Rafinha to do better, because from what he did and he finished fifth, that means he needs to do something and win the Champions League or maybe the World Cup with Brazil.
So
he's able to achieve that. Next year, obviously, is going to be.
Mo Salah finished fourth.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's okay.
Vitinha finished third.
Yeah, solid.
All ahead of
Vitinha third.
Or all ahead of Rafinha.
He had a super season.
Vitinha, you see,
he won every tournament he played in. Let's not forget, he also won he also won the Nations League with Portugal.
This is why the position Pedri is a bit skeptical, because the reason why I'm sure Vitinha is there, because he's the engine of the team. Without him, the team does not really function. I say for Pedri, but because Pedri didn't really, the Champions League, Barca after semi-final, after getting eliminated by Inter Milan, and then he didn't play in the Club World Cup too. I'm sure that is what's affected him. But in all, I think the only problem is maybe Rafinha. But Charlie, if you look at it in a different way too, Lamine has the performance, has the PR, has the popularity over Rafinha. Because in normal, if you are going to be fair, me, I would have put in Rafinha second, Lamine fourth.
Yeah,
I was expecting everything inclusive. That's why I was vouching for Lamine. Everything inclusive, the hype and around and the performance and everything. And then you see after the Inter performance, the way the journalists, even Zidane himself, sitting on the podcast and hyping him and all that, that's contributed a lot to him getting where he is. But I mean, Rafinha, he will feel hard done by. But I mean, it should motivate you. You shouldn't come and say you will do it 10 times with the Beckham.
A certain Vinicius,
so short as someone with the Beckham. Don't do it 10 times. Just prove on the pitch. That's what. Don't come and but even. And you see, going into the Ballon d'Or, I'm sure he knew he wouldn't be in the top 3. I'm sure he knew, because the demeanor and everything. It was Lamine who was more like, he was more motivated for the going to. He carried his grandmother, his mother, his cousin, his female friends, everything.
Carried the whole family bus.
The whole family to the.
He planned the party.
He had hope, but Charlie, eventually, congratulations to Dembele. And I mean, Charlie, the agenda set. Everybody the agenda. Barca fans the agenda. Then the agenda Barca fans. So I mean, which one is heavy? Like Dembele winning before Mbappe, or Dembele leaving Barca and winning it.
So either way, there's an agenda.
That's what I'm saying. Either way, the agenda is just flying around. Charlie, the times that they get there. Hey, Charlie, I'm going to pull my video from Charlie.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's Charlie, an 18-year-old to be a front runner for Ballon d'Or.
Ralph.
Charlie, that one.
I don't think it's happened in the last 20 years. It's not happening in the last 20 years.
Yes, I mean, that one alone. And next year, Charlie, we are coming for it. Next year, Champions League and World Cup for Spain, Charlie. And you know, if he does something significant with Spanish national team, the Charlie, he go win that. Because last year came 8th at 17 years, at 18 years, second. It can only get better.
They can only get better. Okay, that was Wadud. Time check is 8 minutes past the hour of 9. This is Sporty FM, your voice of sport. We are still streaming on X at Sporty FM _. on your radios at 106.1 megahertz in Accra, 102.5 megahertz in Takrady.
Who is the best French player in the world right now? I just saw somebody just put this question to me.
And 91.3 in Kumasi. Wadud says, who's the best French player in the world right now?
Yes.
Who are the finalists? Who are your nominees? Please give us
Dembele,
nominees.
Mbappe, and then Dembele, Mbappe, top two.
Dembele,
So
Mbappe.
who is the best?
So between the two,
Yeah.
there's only one Ballon d'Or winner.
But Charlie, I mean, but this season, obviously, Mbappe is ahead.
Mbappe is ahead this season.
Yeah.
But the season just started.
I mean, so for now, currently, he's the best French player in the world, right?
No, I mean, there's just been an award ceremony. Anyway, let me come to Eli. Eli, do you have an answer for Wadud?
Oh, come on, let's not mind. Wadud has his main reasons for bringing that conversation here. I mean, someone has just been awarded a Ballon d'Or, so why should we be debating? Why should we? It's not like we can't be asking if anyone is better than him. So yeah, but I was wrapping up on my point on Dembele.
Yeah.
I feel like his story is one that has been inspiring, and having to pick himself up from Barcelona to from whatever happened at Barcelona, he was labeled. There were several stories coming out. Messi, Piqué had to sit him down to talk to him. They felt that he was lazy. They felt that he wasn't taking the club seriously, and we don't know what went into. We don't know what happened, but at the end of the day, it looks like Paris came out in his speech. He said Paris came out. Paris came to look for him. I don't know if the translation that went wrong. My French isn't that good, but
No,
from
French is good.
from what the translator said, he said Paris came to look for him, and what I get from that is he feels like Paris was a second chance to restart and to prove his doubt, to prove the years at Barcelona wrong, and I feel he's done that with this award since 2022 to today. It's been a steady progress from being the number 2 man to Kylian Mbappe, and to seeing Kylian Mbappe leave last year. When Kylian Mbappe were leaving, we were like, if you have Dembele as your everyone, I'm sure even Ajo, I've had this conversation with him several times. You see, I have 2 outstanding debates with Ajo. The first one was PSG. He told me PSG are never serious and they will not win the Champions League. He said it. He said PSG were never. He said PSG are not a serious club.
I told you that. I told on different platforms that he said they win it.
Yes,
and they won it.
But you initially,
for like 3 years I've been bashing them. Like,
it was like they're not serious.
Champions League draw comes, I will say PSG. This year they're not winning it. I'll say it will happen. But last year, when they were not giving one in the group stage, I said they will win it. On different platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny.
So Ajo, we're going back and forth on this, and I told him that look, PSG, and the general consensus last year was, even Mbappe, a serious guy like that, couldn't lead you to the Champions League. Then how much more Dembele, who is damn not serious, but he's proven himself not only in PSG but in a different position. Since January, he's been playing as their number 9 in a false 9 role, and he's busted.
Yeah.
He scored the most goals from, I think, January to May.
Yes.
And he peaked at the right moments, ended the season on a high, swept the trophies in France, then capped it off the Champions League. Like I said, I would have loved for him to add the Club World Cup to it. It didn't happen. But I mean, this we talk about. We for some time now. We've been hearing remontada. This is the real remontada. Yeah. Dembele winning the Ballon d'Or is the real remontada. Yeah. He has remontaded his career, and for me, I want to see what next for him. Because now he's going to go into the World Cup as a Ballon d'Or winner. He's going to go into the World Cup with France as a Ballon d'Or winner.
This is where my problem. In the national team, he cannot be the main man. From what we've seen.
He doesn't have to be the main man.
He doesn't have to be the main man.
But then that's where the problem comes in, because let's see, if France win the World Cup, it's Mbappe who's going to be.
It depends on how they win the World Cup. It depends on how France wins. So, like I'm saying,
score more goals.
Like I'm saying, for someone who loves the French national team a lot, it's a very good problem to have. Having Dembele in top form is a very, very good thing. And to pair him along with Mbappe in the form Mbappe is currently in. And look, It looks likely to be a very good year for France football. Of course, there's a long time from now to the World Cup, but I mean, Didier Deschamps should be licking his lips at the potential of what he could do with these players.
Well. Let me come to Ajo. Yeah. There's nothing in there for the world champions.
I mean, we didn't have a good season. I mean, we had a good club World Cup champions, which is a different tournament on its own, and it's maybe under FIFA mainly. So when the best award comes, I think we'll be there to make some noise. But I mean, Chelsea season last year.
I don't know to catch you, but was it what buy? But
for Chelsea, I mean, Palmer 8, not bad. Means he's getting there with the PL.
Was Palmer 8 on the list? Because we are looking at the top 10.
8. Yeah, 8. 8. Yeah.
Wow.
8. I mean, his PR is growing. He just needs good numbers. Let's say if Chelsea wins the Champions League and Palmer has 20 goals or competitions, he'll be there for top 2. But the World Cup will be a factor for him. So the World Cup will be added to your club performance this season. They should know that. People always confuse. Ballon d'Or will focus probably more on the club side, but they will add performances from the World Cup. And this is where it becomes tricky for Mbappe. Mbappe needs to win something like a World Cup or Champions League to win the Ballon d'Or. His numbers does not require him to win the Ballon d'Or. I don't know why. Mbappe has to win Champions League or win the World Cup again to win the Ballon d'Or.
But you were talking about the World Cup, and previously you guys laid emphasis on the fact that the Champions League has a major say on who gets the Ballon d'Or. Yeah. Now, let me take you way back to 2006 when Fabio Cannavaro won it. He won the World Cup with Italy. He was captain of the side, and he was absolutely phenomenal. I watched that tournament match by match. I watched every Italian match, and I can tell you that Fabio Cannavaro deserved his flowers then. But then what happens at club level? When you are playing for Real Madrid or Juventus, and you are not able to replicate that performance over a longer span in the season, what do we make of it? What are the dynamics going to change? Are the prerequisites or the factors we look at going to change, Ellie?
Look, I have a very unpopular opinion about that award. Fabio Cannavaro didn't deserve it.
Why?
The only reason he won the award was because Zinedine Zidane had batted Matteo Materazzi in the final.
But that's one event.
That's the only reason.
It's a needle in a haystack.
That was the reason Zinedine Zidane didn't win the Ballon d'Or that year. That was his tournament. He was the best player in the World Cup that year. Fabio Cannavaro wasn't better than Zidane in that World Cup.
Fabio was phenomenal in defense.
He wasn't better than Zidane.
No, Zidane is Zidane. Everybody knows that. Yes. And this is not. It's very difficult for me to point out a season where Zidane doesn't look. I mean, do
Fabio Cannavaro was phenomenal. He wasn't. I'm not sure he was even the best Italian player in that World Cup.
I think he was.
I think Totti and Del Piero were absolutely good. Look. The Italian defense was good.
The defensive ruggedness they required to drag themselves to the final.
True. I'm not disputing that fact. But if you look at that World Cup, there's no one who watched that World Cup very well. I watched that World Cup. I think that was my second World Cup. I watched that World Cup very well.
That's Ghana's first World Cup.
Ghana's first World Cup.
So for those of you who remember, Hamidou Dramani
and I'm not sure. See, there's no game in that World Cup, no Italian game that we came out saying, oh, Fabio Cannavaro, we were not mentioning his name. For every French game, from the round of 16 against Spain, the quarterfinal against Brazil, the semis against Portugal, and even the final, up to the moment he head-batted Marco Materazzi, sorry, I keep saying Marco Materazzi. Up until that moment, he was the one. He was headed. It was very clear. Zidane was going to be the Ballon d'Or winner. He was going to be the best player at the World Cup, and he was going to win the Ballon d'Or.
But Zidane had already won the Ballon d'Or at the time.
He can always win it for a fourth time. I think that was supposed to be his fourth Ballon d'Or. I stand to be corrected.
He had won 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. He should have won it for that moment alone, and it just went to the second best option. I wouldn't even say the second best player, the second best option. But
that's Fabio Cannavaro.
He was an absolutely good defender.
What was club football at the time? I mean, who won the Champions League in 2006? Barcelona.
Barcelona won it.
They beat Arsenal. Yes. They beat Arsenal 2-1, 2-1, 1-0.
They beat Arsenal 2-1 in the final.
Well, so Belletti scored for us.
Belletti scored for I think Sol Campbell gave us now the lead. Then
Belletti scored for
Eto'o equalized. Then Belletti scored the winner.
The winner. Okay, I remember that game.
Yeah, reminding me of my of my pain.
So the Champions League didn't matter then, but Cannavaro won.
Yes.
The Ballon d'Or.
Yes, he didn't matter, but he won. That's what I'm saying. For many years, up until it's only 2 years, 2010 and 2014. That the World Cup didn't matter. Every other year in the World Cup year, the World Cup has taken precedence over every other competition. In 2010, it is still up for it. Is even 15 years down there. 15 years later, we still debate it. It was very clear that Messi shouldn't have won that Ballon d'Or.
Why?
He wasn't the best player in the world.
Who was?
Which year?
Okay, I can't say he wasn't the best player in the world because Messi was at his peak at that moment, and there were very few players on his level. But if you look at the criteria for winning a Ballon d'Or over the years, that 2010 and 2014 period it's like there's an asterisk on it.
But if you say Messi shouldn't have won in 2010, who should?
If
the
season Messi had in 2010, if it was now, he wouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or.
Yes.
No.
But that time was purely was the best.
The dynamics always change.
That's what
but
I'm
I need Ellie to give me a name.
In 2010, or you should have gone to. There were many names available. I feel Iniesta could have won it.
Inter Milan won the.
It could have been Wesley Sneijder.
Yes, because I know people were talking Sneijder.
It could have been Wesley Sneijder, and even for the European Player of the Year. For the European Player of the Year that year, it was Diego Milito that won it. So you understand? I think that was the biggest shock. That was one of the biggest Ballon d'Or shocks, Messi winning it. Because I remember where I was when I heard Messi win it. I think we were in school, we were coming back from dining, and then we started hearing Messi has won the Ballon d'Or, and I was like, how?
But the Ballon d'Or is based on votes. And votes from football people,
and we need to
vote from a certain criteria of people. And listen, this is a Messi in 2010 who probably wasn't at his best, but there's a hangover of what he had done in 2009.
Yes.
The recency
he got rewarded for everything he did in 2009. He got rewarded for that with his first Ballon d'Or.
Yes.
So that second one was, but me, I feel like from the period between 2009 to 2017, the Messi Ronaldo era, I feel like the whole Ballon d'Or was like whenever they are in doubt, they look at the two of them and give it to the person who had the better season. That's how I feel like. That's how I feel it went out because
but clearly those two were cut above everybody
else. For that 2010 World Cup, you look at the Spain team. And even though people mention Iniesta and everything, I mentioned Iniesta, I mentioned Sneijder, but if you go analyze it very well, there was no standout player in that Spanish team. Everyone put in his bit.
That won the
World Cup. There was no standout player. Yeah. It was an equal team performance. You look at 2014 when Germany won the World Cup. There was no standout player.
Yeah.
This guy, Müller might have scored the most goals. Thomas Müller might have scored the most goals.
Was that Miroslav Klose?
Yes, Miroslav Klose. Yes, last tournament. Thomas Müller might have scored the most goals in that tournament, but he was not a standout player. Mesut Ozil, he didn't stand out. It was a very, very well orchestrated team performance. Messi ended up winning the player of the tournament, but even that one, there were question marks about it. You understand? But I feel that brings me back to my point that anytime there were doubts to give it to someone, they look at these two and they give it to the person who had the best season. Just like in 2010, Madrid went shortless. Barcelona won the Copa del Rey. They won the Copa del Rey and the La Liga, the Spanish La Liga.
Yeah.
So then it was only natural that they fight. It was actually fun because Inter won the treble. Netherlands made the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Yet they actually beat Barcelona on the way to win the treble. And if you look at it, it's kind of similar to what is happening with okay, it's not that similar, but with what's happened with Aitana and Calde and Mariona. Because Mariona won the Champions League, the ultimate. She got to the Euros final, scored a goal in the final. Aitana, she won domestic trophies. got to the final with Mariona. I don't think she had a better tournament than Mariona. Mariona was absolutely, if anything, I thought they were on the same level. But then again, Mariona won. Aitana won it over Mariona. I think Messi won that tournament. Messi won that award based on reputation and based on the fact that there was no standout player in the teams that won the major trophies, i.e. the World Cup and the Champions League.
I'm sure a few of our listeners would like to take you on that.
And also in 2014 it was the same thing. Let me say it so that people will not say I'm biased towards me. It was the same thing in 2014 because Germany won the World Cup. Like I said, there was no standout player in that German team. It was a good team effort. Real Madrid won the Champions League, so of course. And it was a historic Champions League, the La Decima. Ronaldo broke the record for the most goals in the Champions League season by scoring 17. Then everything just fell into place for Ronaldo to win it. But those 2 years, 2010 and 2014, were the only 2 years that deviated from the norm of the World Cup year taking precedence over every other competition. The World Cup taking precedence over every other competition in the World Cup year. So yeah, I don't think the Champions League is ever going to take precedence over the World Cup in any World Cup year. So next year is all to do in the World Cup.
All to do in the World Cup, says Ellie. Now let me come to Ajo before I quickly activate the phone lines. This is still Sporty FM, your voice of sport. And Ajo, we are looking at this top 10. I think, the guys in the studios have given a lot of facts as to why Dembele is the deserved winner of the Ballon d'Or. Lamine Yamal in second. He was 8th last time, has come second, is edging closer. But you look at that top 10, is there any player you feel didn't deserve to be in the top 10 of the Ballon d'Or?
Oh, for me, I have the list here. Dembele deserved, Yamal deserved, Vitinha, Salah, Rafinha. I'm surprised. I feel like move Rafinha to, let's say, top 3. Rafinha 3. Vitinha 4, Salah 5.
That would be your top 5. Exactly, that would be how you'd rearrange it. But I'm looking at position 6 to 10.
Hakimi, Mbappe, Kopama, Donnarumma, Nuno Mendes.
I think there's no issue with that one.
I feel it's fair.
6 to 10 is fair.
10 is fair.
But the positioning in the first 5 is what?
Rafinha fit is crazy. That means he has to improve on his PR. He has to be doing something about his PR because he's from Brazil. And they have natural PR. Like, it comes with what you do in Europe. So
I think it was the effect of being in the same team with Lamine Yamal. Because you could clearly see that there was a push for Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
There was a push even from
within the club.
Yes. And they didn't make it obvious because, of course, Rafinha is their player, but you could clearly tell.
But I think Lamine was more vocal.
Yes.
Was more vocal. And I mean, about the fact that he wanted the award, etc.
But you see, I disagree with people who say, look, let's not make a mistake. Rafinha might have scored the goals, but when you watch that Barcelona team, it was Lamine Yamal you went to watch. Really? Let's not make that mistake. We all went to watch Lamine Yamal last season. Whenever Barcelona were playing, look, for some time I wasn't watching La Liga, but I started watching La Liga last season because of that boy.
What? At which point? Was it at the start of the season, or when they got to the quarterfinals and semi-finals of the Champions League? That's when you started watching Lamine Yamal.
Look, I'm going to state this, and this is not like I'm not exaggerating or anything, but the Portugal-Spain final of the European Nations Cup. Yeah. That was the only time I've watched Lamine Yamal and not been impressed. That was the only game I've watched that boy and not be impressed.
Because he yobbed a lot before that match.
And that match he was pocketed. He was pocketed.
It's me against Dembele. Let's see. He didn't do jack in that match.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of opinions must have been swayed.
But in the in the La Liga, the Champions League, he was absolutely phenomenal.
All season long.
He didn't have the goals to back him, but the performances.
Inter Milan,
he was in both legs. He was outstanding. You see, so like I said, Lamine Yamal didn't have the goals to back him, but if you are going by the eye test, he was there, and he deserved what he deserved.
Pleasant on the eye,
of course.
So if you are going by the eye test, is Jeremy Doku not a candidate to consider?
See, let her jog.
I want to say something about. Something caught my eye it's very emotional. I think you will have a lot of pandas talk about it tomorrow on their platforms and maybe the Europeans as well. But Dembele's mom, when I saw the picture, I don't think she was.
I knew you were going to mention that.
You feel like
I knew you were going to mention.
Why?
Oh, come on! I know Ajo.
Why? Because
Ajo is always a family man with
Am I a family
mommy type of.
I'm close. I'm
So are you both saying he's a dadaba?
no, my bad.
Yeah.
But I'm not my bad. I'm just close to my mom. I mean,
Yeah.
she's like my best friend. So
It was a beautiful moment, actually.
yeah. And she was not. I think the tears would flow, but she kept in checking. You see, his story is crazy. And he was tagged the lazy one. And I have this quote. I don't think Ghanaian young guys are lazy. I think it's like situations we find ourselves. Opportunities. Sometimes boys feel calm or sad to even wake up and go to work, but they still keep pushing. This guy is a game. What they call game bay. Yeah, if people don't know, Dembele is a game bay. He can play game all night.
Video game.
Yes, video game. He has a story where Dembele has to be at training at Dortmund and he's behind the console. He's playing game. He's having issues with coaches. Let me mention one name. I'm not sure he mentioned that particular coach's name. And maybe, I mean, in the midst of the emotions, it didn't trigger him. But Thomas Tuchel is one big winner in this Dembele story.
Wow.
And I'm surprised. We'll get there. We'll get there. And I'm surprised, maybe, like I said, the emotions are there, but he remember and he call Thomas Tuchel and say, Daddy, thank you for everything you did for me at Dortmund.
Yeah.
Nah, man, this man was influential in him knowing positional awareness, when to dribble, when to track back. He made him that player that Barca saw him. Okay, let me count for you. He evolved Dembele. Dembele was not a serious player. He knows it. He was so calm, relaxed, till he got married. It's an underrated conversation. When he got married, we saw a different Dembele. He became more disciplined, not late for training, started winning games for his club. He became focused and he changed his agency too. So I've seen the player be funny. The talent was there. We all speak about, can he get to the top? Can he become consistent? This is an injury-prone player. Record says straight, he's the first injury-prone player to win the Ballon d'Or.
Now he's not injury prone.
He is.
Oh no, not like before.
I feel like, okay, but in that bracket of injury-prone players, when he goes, or like on Bantem,
Yeah,
but he's being managed well now at PSG. And get to Barcelona. Let's also not forget how he left the club. It came with controversies.
Yeah.
A whole lot of controversies. And he made that move. He went to PSG. He was not really the big boy by then. But the system of this coach, which is complex, he was able to get himself used to it. And he cooked for them. So his story is funny. From France to Dortmund. Dortmund, he played well. He went to Barcelona. Did he flop at Barcelona? I think it's in context. Let me ask the Barcelona fan. Did he flop?
Yes.
He flopped.
Yes.
Total flop.
Yeah, because injuries are part of the reason why he did. So, I mean, there's no...
He didn't get enough chances, I think, at Barcelona to show. I mean, he didn't play enough games for me.
He played.
I think he played.
He was injured most of the time.
But I mean,
he didn't dominate games for Barcelona.
Oh, of course. I mean, with renewed fitness comes a certain level of consistency. So you'd expect that once he wasn't playing for a lengthy period and would always go on the stretcher, you could tell that he didn't give his best to Barcelona.
Exactly.
I won't really call it a flop at Barcelona.
Yeah, I think
But I think it was an important learning curve on this journey to being a Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, one person when he gets home, pick up the phone, the moves, and just call Thomas Tuchel and say, Daddy, thank you for making me a more mature player. You can call the rest of the coaches later because he's the one. When he was at Chelsea, he made that phone call, come. But he even chose PSG ahead of Chelsea. People forget all this transfer. Me and Pantai, I miss you. I remember all the transfers in my head. That was between Chelsea. Free transfer. Oh, I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Free transfer from Barcelona. He was like, I want to go to PSG. And they replaced Mbappe with Dembele. He was there. They became teammates. Then Mbappe moved, and I became a Dembele team thanks to Luis Enrique. And if they ask you 3 years back, who can win PSG the Champions League, you mentioned Dembele's name.
Yeah.
Who can win?
Even last year, I wouldn't have.
Who can win PSG the Ballon d'Or? You mention Dembele's name. If they tell you 3 years ago that Mbappe, Dembele will win the Ballon d'Or before Mbappe, you will laugh, probably insult in an argument.
Yeah.
That is how circle of life is, guys. So why do you want to give up? Young boy listening to me from all across the regions in Ghana. Why do you want to give up? If Dembele has won the Ballon d'Or, the biggest award in football, why do you sit home and say, Charlie, this thing, I tried they will make us stop. Hey, nature will be angry at you. Dembele has done it. A lazy player back then.
He has done it.
He has done it. So why can't you do it, guys? Yes.